Good morning, everybody. Nick from Meat Smoke Fire here. Not a bad day. The sun is trying to come out. It's a bit chilly, but I haven't got a jumper on. So yeah, good things. Had my jab on Thursday, feeling a bit rubbish. AstraZeneca, but hey, Helena's trying to put her gloves on or take them off at the moment, hence it's all a bit wobbly. And we've just been cooking indoors, so it's a bit frantic. Anyway, so usual story, 3 cooks. A bit random this week because we made some sausage, some andouille sausage last weekend, so we thought we'd use that for today's cook. So that's part of it, and then I thought I'd do something to go with that. So we're making some hush puppies, which are a sort of donut dumpling cross made of cornmeal or polenta. So we're going to do some of those. And because we're cheating a bit, because it was my niece's 11th birthday. What am I? I'm like, it was Thursday. Last week. Anyway, she asked for 80. That's where the 8 came from. 80 sausage rolls. Anyway, so we're going to make sausage rolls today. We've got the egg up and ready, so we're going to do some sausage rolls. Just quick and easy cook, as well as the other 2 cooks. So yeah, that's where we're at. So this week we have Helena still on camera. Andrea's not back yet, but it's not long now. Anyway, yeah, so in a couple of weeks' time, what is it? Andrea will be able to come and be back on the camera, which would be great. So yeah. Anyway, so who've we got on?
So we've got Mulv on, we've got Will's Grill Shack on.
Hey Will.
We've got the
Will has just gone from Kamado Joe to Big Green Egg. Made the right choice.
Marcus Brailsford, Karen, Sarah with no hangover.
I take it that's your Sarah.
Yes.
No hangover? Rubbish.
Richard Holland. Yeah, God, lots of people.
Loads of people on. So morning everybody. Yeah, lots of new people by the sounds, or some new people as well.
Morning Bernie.
She's shouting, she's doing them herself. So welcome all of those, and for those of you who bought an egg from me this week, thank you very much to those of you. There were a few of you, which was nice. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on. You might have seen, by the way, we've got plenty of stock now of Let's Q's. The ones
please order some.
the ones that we're waiting for, that have been 4 weeks nearly, turned up, and I thought, well, since we will be out of stock roughly in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks time, I'd order some more. So I ordered those on Wednesday and they arrived on Friday. So who knows how this Brexit thing works. Anyway, right, let's crack on. So we're going to do 3 dishes. We're going to start over here on this egg. We're going to do a jambalaya. So we're going to use those andouille sausages that I made. So they're a chunky pork shoulder sausage. I'll show you in a bit when we cut them up, with tripe in them. Helena's face when I said we're going to make sausages with tripe in. But anyway,
actually, very nice.
Yeah, they're pretty good, and the tripe is you grind it, so you don't even know it's in there. So right, egg sitting at about 180 degrees as usual. I've got a cast iron pan in there, so we're using a Dutch oven, and we're going to just fry off some veg to start. So I've got some onions, so 1 onion, 1 pepper, and 2 sticks of celery. So they're going to go in. We'll put a bit of olive oil in there. Get those in. That pan is nice and warm because I preheated it.
Morning Steve, morning Louise, morning Mario, morning Sarah.
Right, so while that's cooking, I'm going to go and show you this sausage. So let's go over here. So I haven't taken out the packet yet. Let's do that. So this is our andouille sausage. So if I cut through it, you'll be able to see it's quite a coarse texture. So this has got pork shoulder in there, tripe, some ground pork fat, some cayenne, and a few other spices, nice and spicy, lots and lots of garlic. It has got about 10 cloves of garlic in the, not in just this one sausage. I made a batch. So we're going to use this. So I'm going to chop it into chunks, and we're going to get that in our cook. What I did the other day is I cold smoked it. No, I didn't. I hot smoked it, sorry. 110 degrees though. Smoked it over some beech So we've got nice bit of sausage. It's all in natural casing. You can see it's quite a coarse texture. What I'm thinking is next time I do it, I will take half the pork shoulder and grind it, and then the other half I'll leave chopped up. So all these little chunks I cut by hand into roughly.
Mary, I'd agree with you. The sausage is quite perfumed. Even outside, I can smell the
Yeah,
garlic.
yeah. So very traditional.
But very, very nice, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Helena was very...
Dubious.
Don't need to talk anymore. You do it. Right.
Morning, Lucy.
So let's have a look. We are over here. So all we're doing is trying to soften these up just a little bit, only 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll get those on, and I'll go through the other ingredients as we let those. So celery, onion and peppers in there at the moment. To that we are going to add about 10 cloves of garlic. So along with our garlic and our sausage, we've got more garlic going in. This is a proper Southern Northern American, how do you say that?
It's kind of a deep south.
Yeah,
isn't
deep
it?
south dish. So lots of garlic going in there.
Yeah.
We've got cayenne, we've got paprika, we've got basil in here. We've got some oregano and some thyme. So typical deep south spices. We're going to go in with, I'm using chicken thigh. So I took the thighs this morning, deboned them and chopped them up. The recipe says for chicken breast, but really they're going to use, down in the south, they're going to use the cheaper cut, so it will be chicken thigh. So we're going with chicken thigh, and then to that we're going to add lots of rice, lots of stock, some tomatoes, so you can have either a Creole or a Cajun version of a jambalaya. So we're going with tomatoes in ours, which I think makes it the Creole version. I've probably got that completely around the wrong way. So we'll put some crushed tomatoes in there, and then we're going to finish it at the end. Got some nice big prawns going in there as well. So
I did read if you can't get hold of sort of andouille sausage,
yes,
you could use the equivalent of a Polish sausage.
Yeah, so if you use Polish, so a kielbasa or you can get them in most supermarkets now, and they're delicious. We normally have one in the fridge. So right, so we've got our sweated down. I'm going to go in now with our chicken. We want to start that cooking. So I'll break that up, and our garlic is going to go in, and then I'll put the herbs in a minute. So we'll get that cooking. So yeah, using a Dutch oven for a change. Doing a bit of a stock, a bit of a stew. So I guess this is the Southern American version of a paella, really. Right, got that going. This egg over here. I think we've done this. I don't know why I always fry on this egg. I think somebody asked me this week which is my favourite of my eggs. I don't have a favourite, but I tend to do this similar sort of dishes on each one. So this is my frying egg. I always fry on this egg. So we've got a wok in there. I've got some oil in. I've got it ticking over. We need it to be about 180. Oh, look at that, 173, so that's not too bad. But what you'll see, the temperature on the front, and I've covered this lots of times before, is down at 120. So I've got a tiny little bit slit at the top on the regulator, and I've got a little vent at the bottom on our draft door. I set the egg at 120 degrees, but it will get 180 degrees in that oil because the oil is sitting so near the charcoal. So set your egg up, get your egg so it's sitting at the right temperature, and it makes it so much easier and so much safer. If you were to have a fire, a chip pan fire or an oil fire, just shut the lid, shut the vent at the top, shut the vent at the bottom, it'll go out. It is perfectly safe to do this. Just don't go tipping the oil onto the charcoal. Anyway, right.
As you beautifully almost demonstrated a few weeks ago.
Yes, thank you for that. Right.
Okay, so we've got quite a few people that have just joined. So do you want to do a little recap?
Okay, yeah, tiny recap of what we're doing. So on this egg, we are cooking a jambalaya. We're using some andouille sausages that I made last weekend. So I've posted some pictures of those. I will put the recipe up if people are interested and want to make their own, or you can just use Polish sausage, smoked sausage if you can't get it. But yeah, so I made them. So andouille, full of, it's got tripe in there, it's got pork shoulder, it's all the cheaper cuts, tons and tons of garlic. And into this, so far we have chicken thigh, we've got celery, onions, peppers, and about 10 cloves of garlic. And I do mean 10 cloves of garlic. So this will be quite a spicy dish. So to that, this, by the way, is probably not going to finish cooking by the time we finish, but you'll get the idea. We'll put the prawns in and we'll see how it goes. So to that, I'm going to add the smoked paprika, some thyme, and a bit of cayenne. If you like it spicy, add more cayenne. We've got fresh basil because we didn't have any dried. We've got some oregano, so they're all going in. So that's all our herbs, and we're going to give those a nice little stir through. God, smelling delish. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper to it. Delish. Look at the colours on that. It's all that smoked paprika turning it that beautiful orange colour, orangey red colour. Right, now we're ready. So I have just long grain rice, a cup of. Excuse me. So we'll get that in there. I like to coat the rice, so I always put it in before my stock, before my tomatoes, get it coated with all those herbs, and then we can go in with our...
Okay, quick question. So
tomato. Go on, I'll shut this for a sec.
Adrian is firing up his Excel for the first time today. Would like some tips on how to fire it up.
Just had a friend of mine pop over, probably shouldn't have done it, but it was one-on-one, so that was all right.
Socially distanced?
Yeah, socially distanced. He just bought an egg and he was asking exactly that question. So I got him to light one of these three. So the way I light the egg, there is, by the way, I've got a video on my YouTube telling you exactly how to do it. So look up youtube.com/meatsmokefire, and there's a video in my tips and techniques bit, and how to light a big green egg without creating too much smoke. But I fill the fire bowl at the bottom, fill it always full, fill it level. Make a little well in the middle, get one fire starter, put it in there, light it, and then put a bit of charcoal over the top, so TP over the top. Leave the lid of your egg open, leave the bottom of your egg open, and leave it 10 minutes, and that will get the whole lot going. And even on an XL, that will get the middle of the charcoal going to the point then that you will have enough heat. You don't need to light it in multiple places, and you always light it in the middle because the egg is designed for that heat to burn from the middle outwards. If you spoke to David, who owns Big Green Egg in the UK, he'd tell you to light it in about 4 or 5 different places. Don't do it. You don't need to do it. It's just a complete waste of starters. One place is fine. So yeah, leave the lid open like that, bottom open, and leave it, no surfaces in there, just leave it for 10 minutes. It will, when you come back in 10 minutes time, it'll be going in the middle. Pull the lid shut, open the top vent, and leave it 5 minutes, and you'll be at 180 degrees, ready to get going. The only time I'd use more than one starter is if I wanted to have it really hot for pizzas or for steaks or something like that. Then I might light it in different places. But no, even on the XL, which I've got over there, no need to light in multiple places.
Okay, so someone's asked...
Right, I'm going to go going in with the tomatoes. So these are just tin of chopped tomatoes. And then I'm going to put chicken stock in there, which is cooled down a bit. So this is 3 cups of chicken stock to the 1 cup of rice. Now, if you read the recipe, it says put the lid on, but I like to get that smoky flavour in there. The egg hasn't got that much air rushing through it, so I'm just going to leave the lid off and get that smoky flavour in there. Much better. Right, now you can ask the question. Okay,
so Full Fox Smoking Grill has asked, why always fill fireball full? For reduced smoke flavour, is the answer to fill less and have a smaller fire?
No, I always fill it to the same level. To reduce the amount of smoke flavour that you get, what you need to do is get the charcoal warm. So that's why I always bring your egg up to 180 degrees. That will. It's only when charcoal is cold that it gives off the really horrible, bitter, acrid smoke. So just give your egg time to warm up, give your charcoal time to warm up. The egg is designed to work with that much charcoal in there. You see a lot of people filling up with a tiny bit and then they'll run out halfway through the cook. The egg is designed to work full of charcoal, so fill it up every time. You're not wasting it because you're going to snuff it out afterwards. You're going to shut the lid, shut the bottom, and save whatever charcoal hasn't burnt. So there's no need to put different amounts in there. Temperature control is much easier when you've got that much charcoal in there. Less charcoal means the air flows through at different rates, and you then don't have the same settings every time when you're setting your egg up, and it's much more difficult to control the temperature, in my opinion. So at Big Green Egg, you know, I used to work at Big Green Egg. I still do bits for them. We've always filled the fire bowl to the same level every time you start a cook. So yeah, and it will get hot. You should be at 180 degrees within 15 minutes of lighting it. If you're not, it means one of two things. It means either you've got bad airflow through your egg, i.e. you've got lots of little bits of charcoal in there, and it needs a good clean out, or you've got damp charcoal because you've left the bag out or something like that. But yeah, 180 degrees. If your egg is clean, 180 degrees centigrade in 15 minutes after you're lighting it, not a problem at all.
Cool,
So.
thank you.
Right, this one's getting a little bit warm, so let's crack on with our sausage rolls. Now I'm going to make these, but Helena always makes these. Oh, I've forgotten to put my sausage in.
Oh.
After all that.
Okay, do you want me to open the lid or can you manage?
Yeah, I'm good. Should have fried it, but hey, wasn't paying much attention because I chopped it over there. It will be fine. So we've got our andouille sausage in there now. Even more garlic going in. Oh, this is going to be good.
So someone's asked, do you feel to the same level when using the Let's Cue?
I do. Yeah, I feel to the same level. I've seen people try and bank the charcoal. The only reason I think you'd do that is to stop fat dripping onto the charcoal. But I don't think it makes a big difference.
You don't tend to do it, do you?
No, I just use the same amount of charcoal. Yeah. Yeah. Right. All my ingredients are in. We're good. We can go do sausage rolls.
Okay.
Right. Helena normally makes these. How many have you made this morning?
Nearly 50.
Right, you've probably seen this trick before. So I've got a bit of baking parchment. I'm just going to get it ready. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm then going to fold it into quarters. And if I keep my finger on this one, I'm going to fold it again, always around the same corner. Does that make sense? And then I know my pizza stone, my baking stone, is roughly that sort of diameter. So that's, or radius, that's half. So that now should fit on my baking stone.
I feel like you've had a little Blue Peter moment.
Yeah, pretty well. So, right, we'll get out of the way. Right. Helena has given me some Just Puff pastry. I buy, just get the Just Puff stuff. Don't buy the supermarket stuff. I think we proved earlier this year it's not as good. So Just Puff. You don't need the extra buttery stuff, just the normal one. This was just cut in half. We've got that. We've taken some of our homemade sausages. So these are these look like a Cumberland. Yep. Must blow my nose just quickly. Sorry. So these are a Cumberland that we made a couple of weeks ago. We've got a new sausage maker. It's awesome. We had one that fitted onto the KitchenAid. It's just such a pain. Whereas this thing it's industrial. You can big handle on the end. Still manual to wind it. Much better.
I think the kids will love it when we can all be together.
So have you rolled these?
Yeah, pretty much to size
so
for you.
We've taken the skins off them. I did all that hard work, put them all in the skins, knotted them up, made them all nice, and Helen took the skins off. So they're going to go just off to one side slightly. This is a quick and easy, and then we'll get on to those beautiful hush puppies. So I've got two things down here. I have water and egg. So I'm going to use the water. We find it's best to use the water to seal them.
So someone's just asked, is the racking system on our house wall homemade?
Yes, it's an old, it's a birch, I think it's birch.
Wasn't bad.
sleeper. So yeah, did it with a Go and have a look if you want. Well, I'll show you in a second. So just roll those over, push them down with your hands. Oops, off the edge of the board. I'm going to take it off there. Just didn't bring me a fork.
You can use the tip of a knife or the edge of a.
I'll just use the edge.
Just use the edge of this.
There we go. So I'm just going to pop that down, make it look pretty. Now, if we had a bit more time, pop this in the fridge then, and it'll make it a lot easier to cut. But what we're going to do is just cut it straight away. I'm going to go for little sausage rolls, like that. Should have basted them first, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Rookie error.
I'm going to have to do individuals now. It's a lot easier when these are. There we go. Right, when they're cold. Okay. Let's get them on our sheet. We did some of these with spicy, didn't we?
Yeah, we made like some curried rolls. So as an
Curried rolls,
alternative
that
that
was
were
superb.
meat free, they were really nice. I think the recipe's up on the website for
Yep.
that, isn't it? So
Yep.
curry rolls are a great alternative as well. But I promised Lexi, because she's had her second lockdown birthday, so we needed to give her a special treat. So we will be doing a drop off of lots of sausage rolls later.
Not all of them though.
No, not all of them. I'll leave you two. You can have two.
Thanks. Right. So these are just super simple, but you know, another great way of using your egg.
I tend to put a little prick with the knife on the top.
Like that.
Yeah, perfect. Well done, chef.
That one's falling out the middle. I'm glad you're going to write this one up. Right, see how well I've done here. So this egg, just slightly over 200 degrees. I've got it set up with an indirect cook. So we've got a convector in underneath, space, stainless steel grid, and then our baking stone. I was asked this morning, how do I clean my baking stones? Just get them hot. It'll clean itself. Look at that. It's almost like I've done that before. Right, we'll close that, and they're going to take
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Might take a little bit longer.
Right, let's have a quick look at that, and then we're going to get on to our...
Lexi, can you set a timer for 20 minutes? I'm just going to wash... Oh, you can give that a stir.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it a stir. So this, stir it about 3 or 4 times during the cook. It's going to take about 45 minutes for that rice to soak up all of the juices. It's still going to be fairly loose. And then at the end, about 10 minutes before the end, we'll chuck in these lovely prawns. 5-10 minutes before the end. So,
Excellent. I'm just going to show someone
Oh.
asked about the...
yeah. So this is just a sleeper, and we started by cutting these top ones with a saw, a normal saw, and then a tenon saw to cut the ends off. They took about an hour each to cut those, and I got really bored. And so you can't see the others, but the bottom ones I then did with a chainsaw in about 15 minutes. So the first 5 took about 5 hours, and the bottom 15 took about an hour. So
I saw someone else done it on Insta, I think, and I just thought it was a good idea.
yeah, and we just put a little dink at the top to hang the racks for the expander system.
Okay, so Bernie has asked, is the jambalaya cooking direct?
Yes, it is. If you have a look, it's straight over the charcoal. But it's on a fairly low setting, this egg, so 180, so yeah, it's fine. And that's why you stir it every so often. You could put it in the oven, but it works better like that. Right, hush puppies. So I'm just going to check my oil's not too hot, because it has warmed up a little bit. So while we're doing this, we'll just knock it back a little bit. You don't want your oil too hot for these. They are quite sensitive. So we will, if it is too hot in a minute, we'll take it out for a few seconds, let it cool down a bit, but we'll get everything else ready. So, ingredients wise, these are going to be like little golf ball sized dumplings or donuts or whatever. I was going to do the corn and I've forgotten. We're not going to do the corn. Anyway, you could add to this toasted corn, I've forgotten. But we've got a cup of. So I'm using American. This is an American recipe, so I'm using American measures. So 1 cup of polenta or cornmeal, 1 cup of self-raising flour. To that, we're going to add. These are our dry ingredients. So we've got 2 tablespoons of sugar. We have a teaspoon of garlic powder. We've got half a teaspoon of salt, and we have half a teaspoon of cayenne. Now we did them yesterday and thought could do with a bit more cayenne. So if that looks like a bit more than half a teaspoon, it's because it is. So that all goes in.
Morning, Craig. Nick's jab went fine on Wednesday. Someone's asked how
Oh,
the
yeah.
jab went.
Thursday, Wednesday.
So yeah,
Thursday.
you felt a little bit.
Yeah, I had the AstraZeneca, felt a little bit achy, took the paracetamol like they said, no problems. So I've taken some more paracetamol this morning, feel fine. So get in there with a whisk, just get all this mixed together before we put the wet stuff in. So there we go.
Morning, Coco. Morning, Carlos.
What's Coco been baking today? I haven't looked at Instagram today. Do look at Coco's baking, it's stunning. I say that every week, don't I? Morning, Carlos. Golf next week, Carlos.
You've
It's
got
next
some
week,
booked.
isn't it? No, I haven't booked yet, but we will. To that, I'm going. This is 1 medium onion, chopped up, nice and small,
Morning, Andy.
and 6. It says spring onions, but the green bits. So just to give it a bit of colour, we're going to go in with those. And again, I'm just going to mix that together.
So I was on a call and Nick brought these in for me to try yesterday whilst I was working. They were lush. Never
Right.
heard of them, but they were brilliant.
And the wet stuff going in is buttermilk. So you can get that from most supermarkets. We need a cup of, so this is my cup measure.
Got an egg.
Oh, I've left my egg behind, yeah. Every time I leave something in the kitchen.
Well, we had a
don't
little
I?
bit of a disaster yesterday, didn't
Well,
we?
you can tell them that while I go and
Okay.
find an egg.
So whilst Nick did a practice run of this yesterday, he got all the dry ingredients together, put the buttermilk in and only had enough for one recipe and cracked the egg straight into the bowl, and it's the first one we've ever had that was off. It was black, it stank disgusting, so we had to throw the whole lot away. Fortunately we had enough to do a practice for yesterday, but he's had to go shopping again this morning because we didn't have enough buttermilk. So it's always worth cracking your eggs in a separate bowl. Don't crack it straight in.
Yes, miss. Jeez. It's the
Yay!
first time I've ever had a
Duff egg.
But I had all the ingredients, I've got everything bought, so I didn't need to go to the supermarket today. And then I wasted it. Right. So what we're going to do is mix all this together. Make a dough.
I think kids will love these as well.
Yeah.
They're like. I think they're good. I think also they're a great little snack.
Yeah,
You
so
did them with like a flavoured mayonnaise, didn't you?
So I did. I took some Creole spices. I've got some mayo, some more garlic. Garlic is today's theme, I think. Just minced some garlic into some mayo to make an aioli, and or a semi aioli, I guess, and put some Creole spices in, and just did these with that. And it was delish. So we now have our batter, which is good and thick. Come on, get out of that whisk. That'll do for now. So let's see how warm our oil is. We want it to be roughly 180 or pretty close. Yeah, let's try. If we're too hot, we're too hot. We'll find out quickly. So I'm going to take roughly a golf ball size, something like that, and we'll do 5 fairly quickly.
So Coco said she, as a child, she cracked an egg into a frying pan once, and it was a chick.
Oh, how weird. Oh, this is going to be fine. So you can see them going in. You don't want to overcrowd it.
It looks like quite a wet mix, is it?
It's reasonably, it's a bit like, yeah. So let them go in there, and then we'll give them a couple of minutes. Now if you're clever, you can make these into ball shapes. I'm not clever, so ours are
Or
just
patient.
or patient. Ours are just random, so yeah.
It's beginning to look quite grey.
It's not going to rain.
You sure?
No. Let's have another look at another stir of our. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, I've steamed right up. That's the joys of wearing glasses. Oh, that's smelling epic. Our sausages are sticking together. Look. I thought they'd all fall apart. They're doing well.
Morning, Johan. Morning, Nat. Morning, Joey.
Right. Let's go and see how these are looking.
You do need to keep an eye on these bad boys.
Yeah, so they're only going to take 2 or 3 minutes aside.
I think you could go hero to zero quite quickly
Yeah,
with these.
so we want them golden brown.
Oh, they're looking good.
Just flip them over. We'll do another batch after these. In fact, I might go a bit. Go another half batch now on this side of the pan.
They're a little bit denser than a croquette, aren't they? And but they are sort of kind of spongy.
They're fluffy.
Yeah, but they're really good.
Really fluffy. There's self-raising flour in them. Fluffs them up nicely. So
now, someone said you can put an Oreo in the middle of them.
that was David from Spice Punch.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't follow David and Catherine or Spice Punch. He came on one of the cooks last summer. He is absolutely nuts about aging meat. So he's got a big meat at home. He's got a big meat aging fridge thing, and he came over with 100 and something day aged steak for us and tried it. So he's absolutely nuts about that sort of thing. So. But this one is Spice Punch. They do all sorts of random cooks. He's just done a competition. There's a charcoal company that's doing a competition where somebody from Europe competes against somebody from the States, and it was 2-0 to the States, but David won the other day. So,
Alright, you better check those bad boys.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So these four or five. We'll cut one of these in half and show you in a minute. That's right. I'm going to give him another.
I might need to do some quality control.
I thought you might. Right, another minute on those. Let's have a
Okay,
look
so
at our
someone's
sausage
just
rolls.
asked, what's the lead time on a large egg?
Oh, looking good.
Oh, sorry, it's gone quite bright way.
Lead time on a large egg. Don't get too far away. They won't be able to hear me. I think it's around a week at the moment, so not too far. Just give me a shout afterwards, and we can sort that out for you. I can look it up online and tell you exactly how long it is. I haven't done it this morning, but I can tell you when the next delivery date available slot is, and then whatever is after that, and we can sort your cracking deal at the same time.
God, that jambalaya, just by that egg, you can smell it, it's lush.
Do you want me to stir it again?
Yeah.
This is going to be so good. That rice is now starting to take on the... Oh, it is smelling delish. So you get the idea with that. It's not going to be finished by the time we are, but right, let's get these out before I burn them now. Chat away. So the first 5. And we'll flip the others. Now, if you keep the vents on your egg closed... What are you laughing at? Somebody parked their head under that.
No. Paul White's just put, what's the lead time on a rake or broom?
He always comments on the state of my garden. I jet washed it for you the other week, Paul.
But you did admit this morning it was only half a job.
Shh, yeah, that bit of patio's still got to be done over there. Thanks, Paul.
Oh dear, that's hilarious.
That's all Paul does, by the way. That's all, you know. He might own a whole bunch of holiday houses and stuff, but he's the groundsman essentially. Oh, bless him.
Oh dear, that's hilarious.
Right. They're still hot, but let's break one of these open so you can see. It's like a fluffy, doughy, lots of spring roll in there.
Give it a little squeeze, so you can,
Yeah.
So
it's bouncy. It's nice.
it's quite hot, is it?
It's warm.
Are you only giving me this to shut me up today?
Yeah. Chopsy is what you are today. Chopsy. Tell him stories of Paul. Right. So these are hush puppies. I'll get the others out in a second. Yeah, a little bit of a dip to go with them, or they would be superb with a fish stew. Dip them in that fish juice. That'd be absolutely beautiful. So let's get these ones out.
They are. Very nice.
Actually doing well today. I'm not burning them all. Burnt a few yesterday, but I wouldn't dare do it on camera for you, Paul. I know you'd love it. Give them another minute. Right, let's go back. Have a look at.
I think you've still got a bit of time in them. It was about 10 minutes, about 2 minutes.
Are we ahead of time?
12:06.
Oh, looking good.
What do you reckon to those, Lexi?
Bottoms are beautiful because they're on a baking stone. Of course, use your thermopen to find out how cooked they are. You want at least 63 degrees, and they're way over that. So they are cooked. They're good to go. Might get those off in a second.
Yeah.
Right, let's get these final ones out.
Ooh. Anyone else got any questions?
If not, what are we going to cook next week? Now, I picked up a rolled lamb breast this week. So I think I showed you some chili, well, not just chili sauces, but some sauces the other week from a local company, a guy who used to work in a Michelin-starred restaurant in Cambridge, not Midsummer House, but he now makes these sauces, Orris and Sons. So we're going to make a rotisserie lamb breast recipe with his it's called tendrils sauce, but it's got some chili in there, it's got some nettles, it's a green colour, it's delicious. So we're going to do that, and so we're going to try that tomorrow, and then we might do that on the cook next week, because you asked for another rotisserie cook, and I think that would be absolutely brilliant. Right, let's take these over to the table. We'll get some of our sausage rolls off. I'd say they're done.
So someone said, can you stop cooking such good food? In fact, it's Brent, and he says, I'm a chef and all my wife wants me to do is cook your recipes.
So there we go. Sausage rolls. Obviously I put them onto a cooling rack, and we'll do that in a minute.
Okay, so I've got a question for you.
Yes.
So Neville has asked, is there any particular way to set up the egg with the wok and oil? Guess you don't want flames coming up the sides.
You don't want it too hot anyway. You want to. There's not much you're gonna if you're deep frying. You're going to want 180 or maybe 200 degrees
for the oil.
For the oil. So as I said, if you look at the temperature on this egg, we'll go back over. It's crept up a bit because we've kept opening it. So, but the temperature is still below 150, and our oil's probably crept up to 200 now. Oh no, 170. So 180. If you looked at the charcoal underneath, I'll get my pair of gloves. This is where I nearly tipped it in the other day, so I tried to do it with just one glove. But if you look at the charcoal underneath, it's not going to be roaring. Okay.
Siri here.
Oh, hello. Yeah. So no, if you're cooking with a wok in there, you've got to have it on the expander basket because it's got that circular bit around the middle. Don't think I've got a spare sitting around at the moment. The wok sits in that circular piece of the expander basket, but you're not going to have flames coming up the side because you're going to be in control of it. So we've got a tiny little gap at the top. You can see it here. Not a lot of air coming through at the top. And the same at the bottom. I've got, 5mm down at the bottom on the draft door. And you're in control. So just do that and you'll be in control. Simple as.
I thought it was the ducks.
Oh yeah, for those of you who've been watching for nearly a year now, we get ducks that roost on our roof, and this morning, for the first time this year, they're back. They just before we kicked off, they were on our garage and on this garage over here. So yeah, I nearly got bombed by a duck just before. So let's have a last look at this. that is looking lush. So I reckon, let's see how this rice is doing. I should have a little spoon. Oh, there's a fork here, let me use that. So I don't have to.
Okay, so Samantha has asked. She's got
that's almost ready. So, sorry.
Sorry?
Go for it.
She says she's going to cook on the Lexki today. She's got a joint of skin-on pork loin. Would you cook it the same way you did the porchetta?
Porchetta, absolutely. Yeah. You can either do it slow and then speed it up at the end, or you could go hot all the way through. I do the porchetta slow because I want the internal temperature to get up to 88 degrees, which is where the connective tissue melts in a piece of belly fat. Now in a pork loin, you don't need to do that. So you want to take it off before that. So you can either do it slow and then turn it up hot right at the end to crackle the skin, or you could go hot all the way through, but you want to aim for a medium cook on that. You know, slightly pink pork is okay, as long as it's British pork. We don't have the trichinosis parasite in the UK. All our pork is checked for it. So we haven't had a case of the trichinosis parasite for nearly 50 years now. So we've all been overcooking our pork because of it for nearly 50 years. I think we've covered that before.
Sausage rolls.
They're off.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go pink, and it's so much nicer pink. And Simon's going to poke his head over there.
Hello, outstanding smells today. Very good.
Photobombed again. Anyway, so there we go. So let's. This is looking and tasting awesome. So we're going to go in with our prawns. So I've got some that mostly shell off. I've got some that are full shells. We'll peel those later.
Do you know if the stainless baskets are in stock?
Stainless steel fire bowls are in stock. Give me a shout afterwards and I can quote you on them. Yeah, they were in stock last week. I think they still are. I think the key thing that's out of stock at the moment, or the biggest thing that's out of stock at the moment, the acacia tables. I've just seen this morning that they're now due the 13th, I think, of April. The container's been delayed again. So I know I've got 2 people who bought an egg from me this week with those tables. I will contact you and let you know that if you are not on here, or if you are on here, I've just told you. That doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, so yeah, give us a shout. I can source you those fire bowls. Perfect. Right, so let's have a look at what we've got. So we're going to do some more of these. So these are they're called hush puppies, and it all apparently the name is thought to come from when people in the south were around their campfires and the dogs were barking. They just chucked one of these at the dog and it would hush the dog up. So hush puppy.
Cool.
So yeah, we've got hush puppies and we've got sausage rolls made with our own homemade sausages. I'll rip one of these open so you can just see again. Don't know how easy that's to see on the camera,
it's
but
not that easy.
yeah,
It's better with a picture.
but they are delicious. Right, so that's it for this week. So next week, hopefully, breast of lamb on the rotisserie. Did I finish the pork loin question? You want to get it to medium, so you want to get to 60, 62, 63 degrees when it's rested. So you could go slow and then hot at the end, or you could go reasonably hot all the way through, so 160, 170 degrees all the way through. But if you've got a meter probe, use that, and it will tell you when to take it off to get it and rest, and it may be a long way before you think. The idea is that the meat in the middle will continue to rise as the outer layers, that heat goes in, so you've got hot on the outside and cold, and then what you do when you're resting a piece of meat is that temperature equalizes across the whole piece. So, but do let us know how you get on with that. That's we haven't done a pork loin on there yet. Need to do that.
Yeah.
So let's have one last little look now. Our prawn should have started to go pink. We've got lovely. I've got all that pepper in there. We've got that andouille sausage. That is going to be a lovely lunch. And for once, we're going to be able to eat it because it won't be cold. And we'll have some of those hush puppies with it. So hopefully another good session. That's exactly 45 minutes.
It's like,
Helena's laughing.
No, someone's just said, great session. Toodle pip, off to buy a Polish sausage.
There you go. So yeah, all go and buy a sausage machine. Make your own. It was good. It's good fun. So yeah. So next week, lamb, and we'll work out what we're going to do with it. So if you've got suggestions you want to see to go with your lamb, maybe some veg or something like that, or another cake or something, you know, a dessert, let us know, and we'll have a crack. So looks like the weather's going to be a bit like this for the whole of the next 10 days. So great cooking, outside cooking. So yeah, get out there, start using your egg, try these recipes. Bar that, I think everything else is up on the online. We'll get the jambalaya up this afternoon after we've dropped off sausage rolls, I guess.
Excellent. Enjoy your first run out of your Let's Q Steve Barbecue Medic. Someone else is doing burnt ends.
Just with the Let's
someone
Q.
has asked for burnt ends for next week.
Okay, maybe some pork belly burnt ends.
We haven't done those, I don't
No.
know.
So with your Let's Q, pull it towards the front when you're closing the lid, and make sure, I went and saw Brent this week to help him out with his, because it wasn't shutting properly onto his Let's Q. And it's always because your bottom band, so here, has dropped down a little bit at the back. If it's not closing onto your Let's Q perfectly, it's because your egg is misaligned. You've probably got some underbite. So I popped over and saw Brent. He's only just round the corner, really. So we sorted his egg out, and it was a perfect seal. Yeah. Right. I think we'll call that a day. So yeah, have a great week cooking. See you all next week, and thank you for joining us. And subscribe to us on YouTube. What's blowing around? Paper. So anyway, thank you guys. See you all soon. Cheers.